Hello everybody and welcome to the 67th episode of the Chesterfield of Dreams, and today we're on our way to the Lampard Park indoor stadium for a live comm against the current league leaders Chelsea, and there's a lot more at stake in this game than you would have expected a few episodes ago, but because we lost our unbeaten streak against Newcastle, we are under intense pressure to keep our form going as best we can. The likes of Manchester United and Tottenham will be playing today, but we're more interested in how we get along. And before I show the league table, I'll show you my starting 11, which will be as follows in the 4-4-2 formation. I've had to use up most of my players in 4-3-1-2 formation, and we got a result at home. But just injury news and suspension news, it's getting better now. Tom Bertram, Kenji Gore and Rasmus Stevenson are all back from injury, and it just leaves Ben Wagstaff, who picked up a minor injury. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks now, 12 days to 2 weeks with a twisted knee. Brian Boring got himself a red card and he is now suspended for 2 more games. So apart from that, I have a clean injury slate and I can't wait to see what the players can do over the next few weeks. And here's a look at the Premier League for you now. We're still in 4th place with 13 wins, 9 draws and 5 defeats. But Leicester City, out of nowhere, have been one of the informed teams this year and are now just 2 points behind us with a game extra played. Newcastle starting to fall away a little bit, allowing the Liverpool clubs to catch up. And Middlesbrough and Tottenham nearly at the 40 points mark. So a result against Chelsea is unlikely, but in fairness, Leicester City and Newcastle both beaten them, so we have to believe in ourselves as well. But Leicester actually got the result at their ground, so it's going to be harder for us to win at Lampard Park. Crucially, our home record remains intact. We're only one of 2 teams to remain unbeaten at the home stadium, but bear in mind that United have only played 11 games at home as opposed to 15. And now taking a look at the schedule, we moved on perfectly from our loss against Newcastle by thrashing their rivals Sunderland by 5-0, and remarkably all 4 of my strikers scored. I played 3 from the get-go, and it was Tomas Forza who got the route started. Abdulrahim Ahmed and Yar Messa followed up before half-time, and then Michael Henning scored arguably the best goal of the match from 30 yards out with a drilled shot into the corner, so I was delighted with that, and Sunderland had no answer. And another home win, courtesy of Paul Groschoff, his first ever goal from a corner, and Brian Boring was sent off in this game, and his sentence has now been increased since it was a straight red card. However, I got my sort of authority completely wrong here, as Liverpool creamed us by 6-3, bearing in mind we took the lead and got us straight back through Michael Henning, but we conceded straight away in the 23rd minute. And from there on in, it was just one-way traffic for Liverpool. They made it 2-2 at half-time, and I believed we could have gone on to win, but we got it also spectacularly wrong, as Tielemans, Martinez and Sterling all scored a goal, and Henrik Gulden got one back to make it 4-3, but Liverpool were just too strong, and I thought their fatigue would have made a big difference, but it actually didn't. So I was furious at myself. I let the team down, and I thought a little too much of ourselves, and we got thrashed. So unfortunately, you conceded 10 goals in our last 2 away games, but we have scored a fair few as well. Now, this Everton game was another disappointment, but these things happen, as we were dominant. We had a 2-goal lead, but we conceded at half-time before the whistle blew, and then Perrone scored again, and despite having a goal in the net, it was ruled out for offside for Ahmed, and we just couldn't get the win. So I was really upset at this. So it gives us all of a sudden a lot on our plate, because Chelsea, Leicester and QPR are all massive games. Probably Swansea in fairness to be the biggest one, but a decent run in. Remember, we went unbeaten from this point onwards, from Sunderland all the way down to this point in the season. So as long as we only lose to Liverpool, maybe Chelsea, I think we'll be absolutely fine for getting a top 6 spot, and the 4th place will be even better. And just before we head into the match, I'm going to show you an update of our stats for the season, and I won't go through them in too much detail, but I'll let you have a look as follows, with the appearances, the goals scored, assists, player of the match, and the average rating for the season. So it's very interesting to see who's doing well and then who isn't on this list, because they're too far down. But without further ado, it's time to submit our team and hope for the very best against the current league leaders. Welcome back, everybody, and the starting lineups have been announced, and they are as follows. Chelsea have the 4-2-3-1 wide with a brilliant trio of Costa, Hazard and the evergreen Suarez up top. They've got James Ward-Prowse, Azpilicueta, Dragovic, Yedvay and Courtois among the names I can recognise, and crucially Azpilicueta is quite unhappy at the club at the minute, so he mightn't stay around for this season. However, I'm confident in my team. The 4-4-2 is a risky formation to play at the Lampard Park, one of the toughest stadiums to go in this Premier League table. However, we're going to give it a go, try and not concede too many goals, stay disciplined as best we can, and pretty much do what we did to the likes of the Manchester clubs and try and get a result. So I think we can go out and impress. There's no need to be so negative as to say the pressure's on them, have fun. But I think there is a bit of pressure. We have great morale. We don't want to lose that whatsoever. What am I going to say? We don't want to lose the morale, and we just want to keep that 4th place for as long as we can, because if Leicester get it, like they're a reasonably new club to the Premier League after being relegated once or twice, if we lose the top 4 place to them, I'd really regret that. But Chelsea look to be asserting their dominance already, and that's a great save by Rinna, who hasn't been responsible for those 10 goals conceded away from home. It was Linus Muller who was in goal for both those games. Unfortunately, he has to remain dropped as a consequence. We're going to go structured for a little bit, seeing that Manchester United are doing okay, and we're doing okay as well, just the 43% possession. And we're going to quickly pause and say, probably show some passion. It's always my favourite one to use. It gets a reaction. Oh, good interception, but not a good pass. Can't win it both ways, and Jakob Rinna has to be alert to save. And unfortunately, Mesa wasn't able to collect that. So we're going to go counter for a little bit and go back to flexible. That's just the best way to go about it. Unfortunately, this could be a set-piece goal. Not to be. Yazid scores again, 3-0 to Manchester United. So Chelsea will be watching that with concern. Suarez and Costa, good combo. And they've actually been flagged offside. I'd like to get some shots on goal, please, so we'll go shoot on sight and more direct, saying I'd like to get a bit more creative now, actually, see what we can achieve. And Sean Kavanagh's hurt. He hasn't been in the greatest of form, but I don't want to see a left back injured. We're really short on left backs. Here's a good tackle by Loftus-Cheek, the former Blue, and here he is combining with Sam Zand. Good tackle by Mustafi, and that gives us a lot to think about. We're not getting through the middle of the park, and that's going to be charged down. It's all Chelsea at the minute. Shanahan, beautiful tackle, another former Chelsea player. Mesa wins it, but unfortunately Forza doesn't get any further in the highlight. Here's Giantafiopoulos, back to Sam Zand. Shanahan to Forza, Ketela. Oh, Gulden. Oh, it didn't look like it went over the line. That was a great chance for the Norwegian to score. I really believe he should have done it, regardless of what you think of his finishing. He's played well in the big games, but that was his opportunity, and that's going to be saved. It should have been a goal for Chelsea this time. And I have to say, demand more, guys. We don't want to go in half-time with Chelsea dominant, that's for sure, but they're going to have another opportunity. It's not concisely cleared. Azpilicueta loses it. Oh, and he gets it back. He's found Costa and Hazard. Great block. Counter-attack initiated, but it's immediately stopped. It's a great game for a 0-0. Here's Suarez, Tahi Tulu, and Yanhin Yuk. Suarez, well wide. Chelsea not able to get through our barrier of players. Here's a last gasp chance. Oh, good inside play, nearly there. Chesterfield keeping their cards tight to their chests, but it's not to be. Chelsea love the advanced play. Forza, oh no, he's blazed that one wide. and it's 0-0 half-time. It's a good result in the circumstances, considering our last 2 games away from home, and of course Chelsea having gotten a few chances away. But if we don't believe in ourselves, we're not going to win this game or even get the draw. I'd say you keep going, you'd still win. Good performance from Jakob Rinne. He's the only one above 7.0, but I'm going to give the strikers a little bit of a criticism because they didn't really help the midfielders out too much, but they did get a little bit of flow in the last 5 minutes, as you saw with Forza. Now this is a vital second half. I'll take a point without any doubt, and Chelsea will be furious with a point, so that will be all the better for me. Here's Kavanagh, closed down by the wall for a corner. What can the Norwegian do here? He's found Trantafilopoulos and he's put it wide. That was a great chance. We're not really great in our own set pieces. We prefer to defend from our own box, but that was probably another great chance. That's deflected and wide, and I think that was a substitute, so we're going to mark him. Yeah, Javiro Durulson has now come on the pitch, and he's a second striker. So Jose Mourinho has changed his formation, and he's sacrificed one of his midfielders, I think. I'm not too sure who, but it looks like their players are getting a little tired. But I might leave Kavanagh on for a little longer, see what we can do. We might try fluid play as well. Look at the stats. It's still good for Chelsea in Chesterfield, but not really too sure what to say. Here's Jakob Rinne. Good header. And Forza! Always chased after. He should have been more alert to the opportunity. He kind of jogged to the ball, and Courtois saves. Wow, that was a golden opportunity. It was like Torres versus Manchester City a few years ago when he won the game for Chelsea, getting in behind Joe Hart and Vincent Kompany. Was it who was it? It was Nastasic. I think Nastasic made a mistake. But we're going to make our changes now. I'm getting carried away. Bemboleta's fit. We can play him for Kavanagh. And I'd like to try... I'll take off Goulden. I'm going to give Tom Bertram a run out in the team, and maybe give Michael Henning a chance, or maybe Rasmus Stephenson. It depends if our strikers feel like scoring today. That'll be appreciated. But Sean Kavanagh is a priority. We need him off the pitch to recuperate, however bad his injury is. Maybe it's not too bad at all. We don't know. Now, decisions. I'll just say concentrate, and we'll make our change shortly. Go back to structured, and now we'll make a change. Loftus-Cheek is tired. Yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll bring on Stephenson and swap these two around and make Sam Zand a central midfielder support. So he'll be back into the centre circle a little bit more compared to the Roman playmaker, and we'll see what happens from there. So Loftus-Cheek failing to score against his former club, but I don't mind as long as we do get a goal. This will be really good. Forza, Bertram. Oh, we tried to find Yaro Mesa, but it was a little too high. Here he is on the ground where he prefers it. Oh, Bertram, he's nearly lobbed Thibaut Courtois. It should have been a goal, but he is obviously not back to full fitness. Maybe will the highlight continue? Bemboleta, it's on his weaker foot, and you can understand why the Chelsea defender blocked him. It looks like Chesterfield are hungry here. Forza has to retrieve a bad pass. Sam Zand. Oh, he didn't find him. It's Tom Bertram, and Tomas Forza scores. Yes! Oh, what a goal that was! And Tomas Forza could very well cause Chelsea great distress. They're off the top of the table, and my goodness, that was a well-worked goal. Tomas Forza having a real purple patch, arguably the best of his career at Chesterfield. But can Chelsea muster an equaliser? They are furious with themselves, and why wouldn't they? But can we get a dream result at Lampard Park? And we're on 51 points as things stand, and we've a game in hand, and Rinne has to take a gamble. Leicester City won't have much to say about this. It's cleared off the line, and Hazard will get another goal, or another goal. It's saved again. How on earth was that struck so sweetly? Jedvaj, bullet throw, Forza getting back, Hazard is wide. It wasn't even count in Aussie rules, and unlike the Australian cricketers, we have committed a full performance, and we've gotten the full rewards. I've mumbled me words yet again, and you can certainly feel the relief off my shoulders. We needed some sort of result here, and that will help us. No limits really. That is massive. So I have obvious sympathy for the Australian cricket fans having to witness a demolition job at Trent Bridge, but at Lampard Park it is Chesterfield going away with the win. My first over Jose Mourinho, and that was faultless to say the least. Tomas Forza doing a really stellar job. He's been underrated at this club. I haven't given him his full dues, but this run of form he's in, he deserves it. And that puts us on a whopping 51 points. We're only 7 behind Chelsea and 2 behind Manchester City. But if we hadn't had such a bad go of it in our last 2 away games, then certainly we would be ahead. But keep posted on this series, guys. We could overtake Man City. They're not in the greatest vein of form, but at least Chesterfield believe in themselves. We have a cushion over the Foxes yet again, and we're going to check the inboxes. Sean Kavanagh hurt, he is, and we're going to have to leave him to the physio, so it gives Bembo Letta his chance. So disaster for Sean Kavanagh, but Chelsea are furious and Chesterfield are absolutely overjoyed with another massive win. We are really transitioning into a top 10 club. Even though we're in the 4th place, I really think we can be consistent top 10 finishers from now until the next 5 years. That's the plan, and we have the big game away to Leicester. Win that, and we will be no doubt recovered from this 4-1 loss. We can sense it, since Newcastle done quite poorly. However, the next episode, there's not really much to look forward to in this run-in. We might play Norwich actually. That'll be a big game for their survival hopes. We haven't live-commed against them in a long time, so we'll come back to that Norwich game in between Swansea and Huddersfield. If we stay unbeaten in this run of games, then the last day of the season against Manchester City will be a real sight to behold. The Etihad won't know what has hit it if we can duel Man City for 3rd place in the league. However, that's all the time I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you again very soon for that live com. Until then, goodbye now.